don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. The air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. And we sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman, because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. So, I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
Ta-da! Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. It is the Sunday night show. Welcome. This is the 424th episode of the Political Spotlight. I'm your host, Kristopher H. Bilbrey, as always, coming to you live on a Sunday night from the upstairs basement studio, Lighthouse Studios. That's where we're at. Welcome. We've got a lot to talk about tonight. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you giving us a little bit of your time, whether you're watching live being, I just took my glasses off, live being 10 after 9 p.m. on Sunday, April 6th, 2025, or if you're watching in the future at your time, at your convenience. We appreciate you here, no matter what you're doing and when you're watching. Thank you. We ask that you do us the favor of please clicking the thumb, giving us a like. You can watch the show to decide if you do, but don't forget, click the like before you go. If you're here live and you want to communicate with us, the way you do that is over here on the right-hand side. If you're here in the future watching via replay, you comment down below, and we will get back to you one way or the other. We very much appreciate those of you that take the time to communicate with us. If you would hit subscribe to the show, it doesn't cost you anything. Click the bell so you get updated when we go live and da-da-da-da-da. For those of you that don't do that, for those of you that are like, oh, I don't need to subscribe, he's live Sunday through Thursday, blah, blah, blah. No one knew that I was going live Saturday. Hell, Brandon didn't know. Kate didn't know. Nobody knew. I didn't even know I was going to do it. Saturday, I woke up and thought, well, it's Saturday. I heard about that whole hands-off, what is it? Pants-off, dance-off thing that they held last Saturday. And I said, yeah, I think that might be worth going to and just seeing if nobody shows up or everybody shows up or 50% of conservatives show up and 50% of liberals show up, or two kids and a megaphone shows up and gets the crowd all pumped up or wild or crazy or anyone's punching each other. So I decided to go, and it was a showing. It wasn't as big of a showing as was at the Victoria Sparks thing. Listen, and here's the deal, GW. The reason I didn't do that, I thought about doing that. It was very last second. Here's the thing, and that pisses me off that I didn't. I literally was out there with like a lesser, like this is a thick hoodie. I had a lesser like hoodie on than this. It was very thin and nothing underneath it, and shorts. And I'm like already sick because of that. I should have dressed appropriately. And I wanted to ask questions, but I literally got out of the car and they did it in such a way. Here's what I didn't want to happen. They did it in such a way that they were so close to the roadway. And we'll talk about that too, because I've got a lot of people that are asking me about that. I'll explain what happened there. So they were so close to the roadway that you couldn't get in front of them to go by and look at what their signs were saying or whatever, which is what I wanted to do. In order to get in front of them, I literally had to be in the roadway to do it, which, obviously is dangerous. And the first time, they start doing that craziness, you're going to get the police out there and they're going to be like, don't be in the roadway and yada, yada, yada. And I'm going to be like, look, I'll be safe, blah, whatever. So it was kind of stupid just for me to just videotape, record, live stream these people's asses. That didn't really make a lot. Some of them turned around. And literally by the time I got to the median in the road, it started sleeting again, like sleeting, freezing rain. And I was like, there's no way I can do this. I planned to, that's what I did. I walked behind the people that were on McGalliard going westbound and McGalliard going westbound on both sides of the road, both south and north side. And then the people on the west side of Wheeling. And I did that. Well, that's how I ran into you. So that's what I did. And by the time I got to the median, I was freezing and I was like, there's no way. So a lot of you have, well, we'll get to, we'll get to the question here in a minute. Yeah. And that's the other thing. I was going to stay the entire time, but I was just not dressed for it. I mean, that's my fault. And the other thing is it was very docile compared to what occurred at last Saturday at Victoria Sparks thing. And I'll tell you this, I think I understand a little bit more. I feel like the people that were outside Saturday along McGalliard were Muncie citizens. Like the overwhelming majority of them were Muncie citizens. And I feel like it was peaceful. Nobody got out of line. There were no punches. There were nothing crazy going on. There was, to my knowledge, matter of fact, there were conservatives there. I witnessed to talk to. I saw people who were from the right side of the aisle that specifically did not agree with what these people were doing. And they were there just kind of like taking it in or whatever. There also were 3, again, Ball State students that were there and had a Trump flag, and they were doing theirs, and talked to them. I did talk to them for a minute. They said that, no one had bothered them. One person, somebody like cussed at them or whatever, but other than that, they weren't hassled or whatever. And so, I guess I'm glad that they were able, both sides were able to have their First Amendment right and say what they wanted to say. Yeah, I mean, 2 hours, when you think that the majority of what happened on the Saturday before, I mean, it took place over the course of almost 4 or 5 hours. 2 hours is kind of a quick little ordeal. I will agree with that. But for the people that were asking what the woman wanted me to mute the camera for. I again, keep in mind that what they were there doing. Yeah, I would agree with that, GW. It was, a lot of people didn't know what it was for. I saw that, there was a large percentage of people on social media that were saying, what was this? What was this for? But there are people who fight the political fight, maybe on the left, that locally are also just work in local government or whatnot, and are sources and whatnot. And so the person who asked me to mute the camera was giving information that pertained to a crime that had nothing to do with that specific protest standing there, and so didn't want to give that information out. It had nothing to do with like the protest or whatever happened. It was specifically about like passing along or asking about information pertaining to a crime, and I think they just didn't want to. It would have been basically a doxing situation. It would have been a doxing situation, so they didn't want to dox someone. I thought, I'm okay with that. So I muted the camera or the audio, and that was that. There was nothing that pertained to the protest. So it was a quick little, hey, have you heard of this, or are you aware of this? And I said, no, I didn't know anything about that. And that was that. Yeah, that was Muncie's was definitely not nearly the turnout that some of the other cities looked like they had. And it was kind of a rather strange place to hold a protest. I didn't get, I understand that. I guess the reasoning is to have passerbys seeing what they're doing, like, hey, we're here. And the thing, yeah, it had nothing to do. Yeah, it had nothing to do with the event of the day. It was it was something quite different. The other thing there is, I know that when that event was happening, there were a lot of people that were honking, and there was a big fight, meaning a verbal argument between people saying the people honking are honking in support. And I will say that while I was there, there were people that drove by and honked and held out like signs that did look like they were in support. But then there were people that were also there that honked that were like flipping the people off. And so, the horn is a really weird thing. You don't really know the intention behind the horn. There were people there that honked in support, and then there were people there honking not in support. So that is what it is. But Brenda, so originally, to me, from what I heard, was the protest was in support of workers' rights, and like the people that are being fired by the Doge cuts and the Trump administration. But then it turned in yes, GW, that's it. My grandmother says that all the time, but it's normally about something that my grandpa's done. That's hilarious, GW. That's hilarious. Dave Williams honked in support of the political spotlight. Well, thank you. But then they were also, it was the same political rhetoric from the left there, anti-Trump, anti-Elon, pro-Ukraine, things like that. And so that was what that was, to my knowledge, what that was going on there. So okay, yeah, that's what it was. That's what it was there, Brenda. So you guys had people down in New Castle doing the same thing then, huh? That's interesting. Donald Trump and Elon Musk. Let's see here. Think this country belongs to them. They're taking everything they can get their hands on and doing and daring the world to stop them. On Saturday, April 5th, we're taking to the streets nationwide to fight back with a clear message. Hands off is what it says. So that's what it looks like right there. Yeah, that's that. Why is that, Brenda? What's going on? What's going on this weekend? Do you mean this coming weekend, meaning Saturday the 11th? I think I'm going to start tip jars at the next one and see if I can fill up the Democrat or the Republican cup first. Stumblefoot. Yeah, the only thing I'm pissed about is I got sick, so I've got a head cold now, and I knew that would happen. It pisses me off. Yeah, producer Kate said the pro-Trump, pro-Musk people, Doge, they should start having protests. The thing is, it's like I've heard lots of people say, like, look, I don't have time to go out there. I'm working, and then when I'm not working, I'm at home taking care of shit at the home. Yes. So this next coming Saturday in New Castle, ask for road closure for a protest. Well, I don't know. I'll have to look into what they're doing in New Castle. That's hey, speaking of spicy food, spicy soup, I got to do this. I have never, ever done this before, but I need to do this. I got to do this right now because this was an amazing thing that happened. So I don't know, for those of you that are from those of you that are from Anderson, Madison County, okay, I have got to say, last Thursday, I was in Anderson, and I went to a restaurant in Anderson called the Lantern House. The Lantern House Asian Bistro. And I've got to say, this was like, it's my new favorite place. So the guy there, I guess he's the owner. The guy's name is let me make sure I got his name right before I just start saying stupid stuff. I think this is what it is. Let me see. Right here it is. Man. His last name is Kane. I forget his first name. But he that Lantern House thing, man, it was absolutely amazing. I'm getting my other system up here so I can share with you guys. I got a new way of doing this, so it's a little bit it makes it a little bit better. Makes it a little smoother. But this Lantern House in Anderson, I want to tell everybody, because we have a lot of people that watch from the Madison County area. If you don't go to the Lantern House, and I don't know how you wouldn't or whatever, it's fair. It's priced fair. And the thing I love about this is it is not Chinese buffet. So I love Chinese food. I lived in London, and when I lived in London, we went to Chinese food, and we go in, and there were no Chinese buffets. I was like, "What? Where's the Chinese buffet?" And they're like, "No, that's Americanized Chinese. This is like real Chinese." And so you order, and they bring it to you, and the everything is so much better. It's wildly much better, and the Lantern House is like crazy. Like I was there Thursday, and I have literally been craving it since I was there. I really thought about I wanted to go like Friday or Saturday. It was amazing. Real actual vegetables. It was great. So they're not paying me to say this. And you know, I don't know, but it was great. It was amazing. And I really appreciate what they had going on there. So check that out, Lantern House. It's on Scatterfield, and it's pretty cool. So check that out. Let me see where they gave the actual address. It is 4708 South Scatterfield Road, Anderson, Indiana. And look here, I'll put this up on the screen for you guys to see. This is like the real deal here. It's the chemicals in the water. Hey, we were going to have her back on tonight. She's got some updated information. I'm going to have her back on sometime this week because we need to talk with her. She has some very, so did everybody else, Alva. So did I. I think Kate did. We all pretty much did. So you're forgiven. It's no big deal. Yeah, right here. Look at this. Dine with us. And this is the thing. Now, I will tell you, anybody that goes over here, they do like a mixture of like Chinese and Thai food. And so I'm used to the Thai Smile in Muncie. And when you go over there and they like, what kind of like spice do you want? At Thai Smile, I eat the hottest spice there is. I love spicy food, mostly because it helps me with my sinus issues. Yeah, don't do that if you go to the Lantern House. When they tell you the shit is hot, they mean the shit is hot. Because I got, like, you would probably be fine with mild or medium, not mild, excuse me, medium. I got the hot. It was one step below like the crazy, crazy hot. And he was right. It was pretty intense. So just be careful with that. You ever eat the Thai restaurant on Walnut in Muncie? You mean like Thai Kitchen right across from Muncie Tent and Awning that they tore down? I've been there before long ago. I have not been there. I have not been there in a very long time, and I probably don't know that I would be brave enough to walk in there and eat now. I don't know that I would still be able to do that, because it just looks like I can't believe they're, I mean, yeah, no, I won't say anything bad about them, but no. So, okay. Well, on to some politics. No, Thursday. No, I was dressed up like normal, like a normal human being, and you guys would have been surprised. And then I got home and got ready for the show, and put on my show uniform, which is this hoodie, and we were ready to rock. Although it's springtime, so we're getting ready to change out the show hoodies. We're gonna get ready to get back out the 2 or 3 polos. I know it's snowing. What in the hell? It's been so cold today. I'm so sick of this weather. Okay, so before we get started, excuse me, we are getting started now. Before we get started in taking a look at this upcoming week's crazy busy schedule, one of the things that we need to do is we do need to go back and we need to hit the Board of Works meeting from last week. There was a Board of Works meeting that we did not get a chance to see from last week, and I feel like we do need to quickly watch this. And look, it's only 9 minutes. It's not even 9 minutes, so I feel like this will be a good thing to quickly watch and get us ready. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, wait a second. What are we doing? Is this no. You got one job. You got one job there, Slusher. I listen, we do 5 shows a week here. Sometimes more, other content, short videos, and all of the different things that we put up, even when I'm like sleeping on the job and we don't put up the same cards like from a week ago, ever. That never happens. But this guy has the Muncie Redevelopment Commission card put up when it says Board of Works. 2 weeks ago, it was the Board of Works, I think. It was the BORE, Board of Works. It's like, what do we got going on here? All right, here we go.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the April 2nd meeting of the Muncie Board of Public Works and Safety. If you can, please rise as we recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Well, we welcome you here on this rainy day. Hope you brought a boat along with you or have one available maybe. Roll call, please. I'm present.
Present.
We have been given the consideration or the minutes for the March 26th meeting. Do we have a motion to approve as presented?
I move approval of the minutes for March 26th.
And I would second it. Any comments or questions? Having none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you very much. We have been presented the register of claims from the city. We're going to ask Mr. Craig Wright, City Controller, to come and present the claims. Good morning.
Sent out the claims yesterday afternoon, and
Okay.
Okay.
And just want to make note of the claims this week that we did do a second round of last week, Thursday, Indiana, Michigan Power.
And Craig, hold on a minute. Mark's coming with a.
Why does this always happen?
There we go. Okay. Well, good morning, Craig. How are you today?
And anyway, I'll just open it up for any questions that you might have with the claims this
No, start over, asshole.
Okay, and I do not have any other either. So do we have a motion to
Yes,
approve the claims?
I move approval of the claims for a hefty $1,899,994.
Okay, and I would second it.
What?
Do you
What?
have any comments or questions?
A hefty $1,899,994.
Okay, and I would second it.
$99,994. $1,899,994.
Okay, and I would second it. Do we have any comments or questions?
Of course.
Okay, having none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, motion carried. Thank you, Craig,
Thank you.
very much for your work. We have some new business. We have a temporary parking request for Briar Road. That looks like that's a Cecil Bohannon.
So we don't get to hear
I
why it was almost $2 million.
Yeah. No, not.
So we don't get to hear, well, it's just the usual claims, and this week we had our utilities, or whatever, to explain that horse shit.
Well, he said that when he was talking into the void, when they forgot that we do a show weekly. They do a show weekly, and they need people to be able to hear the shit that they're saying. Yeah, GW. The thing is, Linda used to ask questions.
Well, that was just about sandwiches, though, so there must not have been
Yeah,
any sandwiches
right.
on there this time.
Must not have been any sandwiches or alcohol. Where is the freaking... It's such a joke. These people are literally such a joke. It's nuts. It's really, really, really crazy that there's just no more. There's no more done on this than what it is. And so I'm looking here. I'm looking here in the claims for the monthly. Let's look in the weekly to see what we've got here. Is there anything good here? Because I did get word Alva actually texted me. Alva, what did you look at to know that? How did you know that, sir? Guess what I'll do is I'll do this. City Council. We'll go to the minutes. Surely you're not messaging me instead of just putting it up on the screen. Hold on here. Let me see what you're trying to tell me. Okay, let me see where this is at. Forms. I always forget where the Board of Works stuff is. Miscellaneous documents. No. not under agendas. It's not under fee schedules. It's not under forms. Not under manuals. It's not under minutes.
Audits.
Audits. I gotta find out where that's at. Audits. We're under audits. All right, there we go. Audits. Board of Works or 4-2. I guarantee you I'm going to be mad about this. Yeah. $1,899,994.85. Those cheating, lying. All right. Go down through this together here real quick. See, nobody had any questions on any of this? Okay. They've always shown itemized list for the city of Muncie. This is the city of Muncie. Okay. All right. Gotta be getting down here close. All right. So right here. Okay. Board of Works. Substance abuse, behavioral treatment, Centerpoint Energy, Fredericks, Indiana, Michigan Power. Okay, let's take a look at what all this is. So, the power, I guess for the, $626.14. My question is 11, page 11. What is this? What is this? Remaining budget. Okay. So that's interesting. Okay. Let's get down in here. See what we've got going. And what is it we're looking for? American Hoosier. Oh, wait a minute. That's right. I keep forgetting. What's the name of their business? Hoosier Municipal?
I just sent you some screenshots, Christopher.
Okay.
Hoosier
let me
Municipal.
Let me see what you said. Okay, so Hoosier Municipal. Yep. See him here. One invoice. $8,489.75. And this is probably the work that they have done for the state of the city.
Notice the invoice date, Christopher.
Is 2/28.
February 28th.
Yeah, February 28th.
When was the state of the city?
State of the city was. 1 second here, I'll tell us.
I'm just saying it's more than a month ago that that invoice is dated.
Yeah, why? Yeah, that's it. They do so much weird crap with that. The state of the city was March 2nd, but they would have
done some work prior to that. Yeah.
done most of their work. I mean, all pretty much all their work would have been done prior to that, because the state of the city.
So do you think that's just the state of the city stuff that they did? And there'll be another invoice that'll be for other things?
Oh, I'm certain. I'm certain of it. What's funny to me is, are they going to charge the city of Muncie? Is he going to charge the city of Muncie for having to look and put together that list for record request?
I'm sure.
That would be hilarious if that
now
is
look
in
at
fact
the second
case.
screenshot I sent you.
Okay. All
And
right.
look at the grand total there.
That's 2,000,000.
Yeah.
279, 891, 84. What is this?
Why is there a $300,000 difference between what they approved and what's on that paper?
That's 21. Okay. Now wait a minute, because what you're looking at there, was that the weekly or monthly, Kate? What you're looking at, where you pulled those invoices from?
The weekly. That was the 4/4 weekly claims.
And it's got 21 pages.
Mm-hmm.
The other one had 26 pages and it had less money. Yeah, I'm here on this one. I see that.
4/4, right?
It says payment date range 4/4/25, 4/4/25, report by vendor. Okay, it says, let's see here. Invoice date, and it's got dates like they're all over the place. The due date was all April 4th. Weird.
Yeah, I don't understand why the 4-4 on the controller page is different than the 4-4 meeting.
All right, I clicked on it. 21 pages. Okay. And then if I go back, Board of Works claims. "26 pages. 4-4. All right, let's look here. Please find attached claims to be approved this week. There are a few claims I would like to bring to your attention that I have posted below. Please don't hesitate to give me a call or email if you have any questions. Outdoor Concepts. Edit moving funds for payroll increase. GM Development Companies. They just keep taking and taking and taking. Interesting. Interesting. So this is more Dustin Clark bullshit. So just, I guess, keep that in mind, everybody. Keep that in mind. And I don't know.
Yes, so we live near Ball State, so when we have a small get-together, we have to come file this form because it's all marked no parking.
Yeah. And you've been here several times
Yeah.
before. Yes, that's right. Okay. Well, we appreciate you being.
Great.
Barbara and Cecil, go
Yes,
ahead.
and I would second that. So do we have any questions, comments? Okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Lights and lights.
Yes, we've got our annual events coming up.
Okay,
Could you introduce yourself,
Yeah.
please?
Yes, I'm Kirsten Novotny, the theater and events manager for Minnesota.
and if you just highlight all three of them so we can just kind of go in order then.
Yeah. So we have Fairy Sprites and Lights, which is at the end of July. We also have Boulevard Bash, which is in October. And then we have ELW, which is Enchanted Luminaria Walk, which is in December.
Yes. All great community events.
Great.
Favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, the next one,
Yes, I move approval for the street closure for October 10 and 11 for Minnesota.
Good.
and then seconded. Any comments or questions? Other than keep up the good work. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Okay, motion carried. And the last one,
Move approval for the street closure for December 5 and
Okay, great.
after the meeting, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you very much for all you do. We have a new business professional service contract with WSP and
Oh, let's write this down. What's going on here?
this morning to present.
Dan Breitnauer, Mayor of Muncie. This is our professional services contract with WSP USA, which is the nation's largest civil engineering firm. And they provide not just for our city engineer, but also for other engineering services that we have. So this covers the next year.
Okay. Any highlights from this that you would want to make mention of, or this is pretty much their standard contract?
It's pretty standard. We did, legal looked at it, but
Yes.
it's
That's kind of where I was going with that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Go ahead, Linda.
no, I don't have it.
Do you have, you want to make a motion to approve?
Yes, I move approval of the contract as presented.
Yes, and I would second it. And I did review it. very fortunate to have such great assistance in this area. So really, it's a good thing for our city. So do you have any comments or questions otherwise? Okay. So all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Motion carried. Thank you. And then we
Let
have,
me tell you the part about it that's not standard, okay? That's you bring up a really good point there, Mr. Alva, and then let me explain to you and to Kate, who says, wait, Muncie doesn't have a city engineer, just a contract guy. So why does the city have a company contracted in Leech Boy? Well, let me explain to you. So I have a record request in for Adam Leach's contract. And I know that there are a lot of people that are waiting to see this. A lot of people, specifically within the street department, a lot of AFSCME people, a lot of people are waiting because I want to take you guys back. Let me tell you, it's been so long ago, I can't even recall it. I don't even know when it was. I've literally stopped being able to store how much crazy bullshit that Dan does in my brain. I'm not capable of it anymore. And it really sucks for this job that we do because I forget. But Brian Stevens Hotop was the city engineer, and they decided to do this really weird thing with Brian Stevens Hotop where they were going to pay him more than literally like any other local official anywhere in the United States. As far as I'm concerned, I've not been able to find anybody that's contract was higher than Brian Stevens Hotop. And I mean, between LA and New York, this podunk Muncie, Indiana, on top Hotop, he's getting paid, like $1 million a year, damn close to it. And I guess they figured because we're paying him so much, he should do like 2 jobs in one. So what he did was he was a city engineer, and they also didn't want to have a street superintendent for whatever reason, which is really stupid because they need somebody whose job is just being superintendent, the boss for the street department. But they didn't have it. So they put Brian Stevens Hotop in charge of this. And he was to do both. Well, then we find out nobody knows what he is. Is he a full-time employee? Is he a contract employee? Because they swore him in, and he has a little oath and all that. But at the same time, he's also got a contract, and it was just real crazy. Well, then finally, there was enough question about him, I think, and he didn't like having his name on the program, and he didn't like being called out. And, he's like, well, I made my cool $1 million here, so it's on to go someplace else. So finally, he left. Yeah, dude. Hey, it pays to know Dan. It pays to know Dan. And so let me tell you, Kate. And so I'll tell you, he left, and it was just like a fog of chaos because there was question about whether or not he could fire people. Then we found out that he was telling AFSCME employees what to do, and contract employees can't do that. And it was real questionable. And then all of a sudden, like, he was gone, and then we got in this great big lovable Bocephus or whatever his name. Oh, shucks, boss. I'm from Tennessee. I'm just up here. And it's like, there's no way this dude is an engineer. I just don't believe it. Well, he was, and he was a full-time person for like 3 months. And then they're like, well, he's leaving too now. But before he leaves, we're going to put him on as a contract employee, and he's going to stick around until we find his replacement. And then he just never... Oh, no, I said knows, Carrie. I said everyone knows. I think there was a little... I think there was a little bit of disturbance in the microphone. I said nose, Dan. Sorry about that. I will enunciate better. Anyway, so then Adam Leach is like this once again in the position of Brian Stevens Hotop. And he's like, he's a contract employee bossing the street department people around, trying to fire them and tell them what to do and all this as a contract employee, making large money, not nearly as large as Brian Stevens Hotop, but he's still around. So now we also, no, I know. Well, yeah, right. I did try to slip. I may have purposefully slipped over words there. I don't know. I'm just giving, I know you're giving me a hard time. I'm giving you a hard time. And the whole point of it is we're all giving Dan a hard time. But then Dan's saying that he's here with this WSP. Now, I don't know if Adam works for WSP. And so there's like some double. I got to find out. I don't know. I've got a request in, and we should be getting it soon. And when we get it, we will review it. We'll find out just exactly what Adam Leach is doing. I'm not a fan of his. I don't like him. I don't like. I don't like any of these people, really. Used to, I could like, there were some of them I could stand, but not anymore. I like his picks. Well, I think so did Dan. And, you know, for those of you, he's got pictures, cooking breakfast, taking showers, and they're floating out there. How embarrassing. How embarrassing is this? That Mr. Adam Leach, this professional guy, has pictures that he sent. And you know, I mean, listen, we didn't cover it here because I normally don't cover personal stuff, but those pictures didn't come from his current partner. So, like, who did he send those to? What was happening? Weird. Like, what's going on in the right now administration is weird.
Contract for asbestos inspection services for the building commissioner's office. Good morning.
Good morning. Courtney with the Muncie Building Commissioner's Office. We were in need of a new asbestos inspector. Our previous one had to retire. So we need this for the city
Banker
to be able to
friends.
do our demolition throughout the year. This is going to be for a 3-year contract with the possibility to continue if both sides agree.
If who?
We
Oh, I
received,
thought you said somebody died.
Quotes from Airco, which was $2,500 per property. Heartland, which was $700 per property, and then Air Management Techniques, which was $625 per property.
Okay. And
Which one are you
yeah,
recommending?
you're recommending,
Air Tech,
okay.
or Air Management, sorry,
Management,
Air Management.
No, a Technics Incorporated, okay.
Well, I'm happy about that,
they're
Stumblefoot.
650 West Kilgore Avenue, correct?
Correct.
Okay, great. So we had the bids. This is the lowest and best,
Mhm.
right? Okay, and it meets the requirements,
Yeah.
right? Okay. Linda?
Yes, I have no questions, so I will move approval of the asbestos contract as presented.
And I will second it. Any comments or questions?
I'll vote.
Having none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, thank you very
Great,
much. And we'll
thank
have we'll have that signed for you. Any other orders of business that we need to bring up? Anybody? None? Okay, well, having none, then meeting is adjourned, and thank you for coming. Have a great day.
I got to do that every time. I just got to do it. I just got to do it. I got to say it every week. I got to do it. And every week I say, I got to do this. And this is the reason I do it. He's so weird. Okay, so that was that. I don't know, weird. I gotta check into what that was. That was a pretty crazy week. Pretty crazy Wednesday. If you ask me. That was pretty nutso, honestly. So, okay, from there. Tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, is Monday, April 7th. And there are a couple really important things that happen tomorrow. Let me tell you what those things are. One is it's my grandmother's birthday. So, happy birthday to my grandmother. Tomorrow. I'm sure we'll talk about that, and I'm sure that we'll share some pictures and all that she'll love. So we'll do a great big thing up. Do it right for her birthday tomorrow. I'm sure she'll love it. Then after we deal with the birthday, tomorrow is April 7th. So it is the Delaware County Commissioners meeting. And we'll get right back into that in 1 second. Craig, so, okay, there's a whole lot going on with Ed. I don't know. Did you happen to catch Wednesday or Thursday's show? If you haven't went back and watched Wednesday or Thursday's show, we started talking about the Ed situation. Then we had the severe storm and it kind of interrupted us. So then we talked about it a bit more on Thursday, and we talked about some of the personal stuff. And then that being said, there's more stuff that's coming, but it's going to be a little bit out. It's going to be a minute before we get to it, but I will try to keep everybody up to date on when things are coming. But if you have not watched episode, I guess it would have been episode 422 and 423. It was a part 1 and a part 2. So you might go back and watch those. And then also, I'll keep you guys posted when we'll have like part 3 or part 4 up into the show. So it won't be tomorrow. Anyways, okay, so tomorrow then there is a Delaware County Commissioners meeting. Delaware County Commissioners meeting Monday, April 7th, 2025 at 9 a.m. Order of business. They're going to do a standard agenda here. Okay. Pledge, announcements, employee of the month, cred board, tabled business, handbook revisions. Damn, they got to get this handbook done. What is going on with Pam McCammon? You guys got, I hope I can't. They've been asking her, and she's like, just give us one more month. Just give us one more month. Just give us one more month. I'm telling you, it's going to be absolutely diabolical if we go to that meeting tomorrow and she's like, just one more month. That will be insane. All right. Then looks like Steven's going to talk a little bit about the solar moratorium under the table business. Steven's going to talk about the Corson contract. And then we're going to have some IU health master agreement talk with Pam McCammon. Then they're going to do the approval of the minutes from the March 17th meeting, presentation of the land bank, Nate Howard. We're going to hear about 804 West Willard Street. We're going to hear about Cardinal Greenway cleanup. That's going to be great. Contracts or agreements approval, pilot agreement, Ryan Kelly. Owner permit authorization, Mark Manship. Slide Plat and Survey, Ashton Land Supervisors, Surveyors. Pam Bondi gets on my nerves. Not as great as I thought she would be. Ordinances for second reading, 25-7. I don't know. I got to find out what that is. Are you talking about their health thing? It deals with the employees' health benefits. They have a like a doctor's office that they can go into. It's for county employees, so that's what that is. Okay, they're going to do this advisory board, community mental health services center, whatever. Okay, great. They're going to do resolutions for approval, old business, department heads and elected officials, weekly, monthly, and quarterly reports. Fantastic. Payment of claims, $2,144,530.37. Great. Well, sure it is, Stumblefoot. Absolutely. Like a hand in a glove or a glove in a hand. Absolutely. Of course, the most ignorant rule of all time. If you want to speak on the record, public comments, you got to be there before the meeting starts. You know, I don't make up the rules. I just hate them. Commissioners' comments, and then they write their names down in case they forget them. Shannon Henry, Stephen Brand, Sherry Riggin. And that's that. So that's going to be that. We're not going to live stream this. I don't care about live streaming it. There's no reason for me to jump the county's feed and live stream their shitty audio. Now, maybe we'll find out tomorrow their audio is good. I have heard that they have replaced it, but I'm waiting to see. So what we'll do is, if you want to watch this meeting, ladies and gentlemen, all you have to do is you go to the Delaware County, Indiana government. All you got to type in is Delaware County, Indiana government on YouTube. Delaware County, Indiana government on YouTube. And you'll be able to find this meeting at 9 a.m. We will talk about this meeting. We will discuss this meeting. And if anything big, small, or something happens of importance, we will cover it. But it'll be in the evening shows. I'm just not gonna stress about live streaming this in the morning, because they've just burnt me out on recording bad sounding shit. So we'll wait and see. Now, if they fix the audio, maybe we'll start back jumping the feed and recording them starting in 2 weeks. But time will tell. So it'll be 9 a.m. Eastern, and you can get on and see this on the Delaware County, Indiana government YouTube page. Very easy. All right. There's that. Also, Randolph County will be live streaming, or they won't be live streaming. They'll need to be soon. But Randolph County Commissioners meetings tomorrow. I don't have an agenda for them. Who knows what they're talking about? What kind of craziness they have going on? I'm just letting people know, because I know there are some people from Randolph County that watch. So there is that. All right. That then takes us up to the 6 o'clock hour, when the city of Winchester may or may not meet. I don't know. They generally have their meetings on the first and third Monday, but a lot of times they will cancel the first meeting. I don't have any knowledge of that. They may cancel. Look at the Winchester's page if you're interested in going. At 6:30, the New Castle City Council will meet, and they do meet. They will meet tomorrow. And then the biggie. The City of Muncie City Council meeting will start tomorrow at 6. Let me double check. Yeah, I thought it was at 6:45. 6:45. Their meeting will begin. Let me pull this up here for y'all. No, nothing. Josh's trial date's moving closer unless and until they cancel it. Who knows? Time will tell. I haven't heard anything new on Lewis. Okay, Muncie, Indiana City Council meeting starts tomorrow, April 7th at City Hall. Okay, 6:45 for them to talk about, and this is a public hearing for them to discuss Ordinance 1325, an ordinance to vacate a portion of the certain public alley at 2619 West Ethel Avenue in the Muncie City, Delaware County, Indiana. And that will go wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. The meeting will start at 6:45. The live feed will start at 6:45. We will start live streaming at 6:45. It will take exactly 30 seconds to talk about Ordinance 1325. When they're done talking about 1325, the meeting will adjourn, but the live stream will stay feed. It'll stay live, and you'll see them get up and moving around. So just don't panic at 7 o'clock. So there'll be like a 15-minute delay. At 7 o'clock, the meeting will start and it'll get underway. Pledge of Allegiance, invocation, citizen recognition, roll call, approval of minutes, approval of the boards and commissions, committee reports, ordinances previously introduced. Ordinance 7-25, an ordinance for the transfer of appropriations, police and fire, same thing. We talked about this in the past. This is votes to approve. It'll be these are the final votes. 825, ordinance to amend the City of Muncie's comprehensive zoning ordinance from R4 resident to the BV business variety zone permit located 2810 West Ethel. Pretty standard. 1125, ordinance fixing the maximum salaries of each and every member of the Muncie Police Department of the City of Muncie, Indiana for the year 2025. Okay. Now, hold on here. Oh my gosh. Give me 1 second here. I just completely, no wonder. No, give me 1 second here, folks. Okay, sorry, I had to share. I quit sharing. We got going on the show straight away, and I quit sharing the show everywhere I needed to. How dumb of me. That was completely my fault. Okay. Most people are probably like, wait, where's the show? So I do want to take just a second and discuss up here, this ordinance 7-25, an ordinance for the transfer and appropriations, police and fire. This is something that is causing a little bit of stir among people. And I want to show you this. Here is a document that has been made. Oppose Ordinance 7-25. Ordinance 7-25 is transferring $526,000 from Muncie's opioid settlement funds distributed by the two Indiana cities by the Indiana government to cover pay for police and fire. And it will be discussed at this next meeting, April 7th, 7 p.m., City Hall. Contact the council members, and they have them down here. Jeff Green, Nora Powell, Brandon Garrett, Sarah Gullion, Jerry Dishman, Harold Mason, Dale Basham, Roselvi, William McIntosh. Speak at the podium, talk in front of the council, April 7th. Meeting by the be there to show opposition to 7-25. This is going to be really interesting because I know already that like people like Nora and Sarah aren't happy with this. And they basically run the meetings. You know, Nora is the silent puppet master. And so she's not a big fan of this. Well, now you mix into the fact that a lot of the people that Nora like cares if they like her or not, a lot of the Muncie Resist folks and all that, they are way against this. Okay. And that makes sense. Listen, I'll be honest. I am very pro police and fire, and I want them to get what they need to get. But I also don't believe that they should be taking the opioid settlement to do this. So I'm not really in favor of this. So it's going to be interesting to see if obviously the Nora side of the council, they've got the votes. Will they cave and vote for this, or will they stand with the folks that are mostly on their side? This is going to be really interesting. I honestly don't have a way that this is going to turn out in my brain. Normally, I have a pretty good understanding of how the Muncie votes are going to go, even when it is a controversial vote, even when it's something that's like, going to come down to 5-4 or something like that. I know how it's going to shape up. But this one, I have no idea how this vote is going to end up. So this is going to be really interesting to see the fight that surrounds this and what the counselors have to say about it. So just remember, and the problem is Dan has promised the police and fire the golden ticket salary increase without figuring out how to fund them. And there we go. It's always Dan jumping the gun, right? And that's a pretty pun intended, no pun intended there, Stumblefoot, it's a hard pill to swallow. That's interesting. So we'll see how this goes. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how this one turns out. All right. Moving on. Ordinance 1225. Ordinance fixing the maximum salaries of each and every member of the Muncie Fire Department. Same as 1125. We go on to page 2. New ordinances 1325. An ordinance to vacate a portion of certain public alley, the West Ethel, it's pretty standard. Here is an ordinance to amend 1425, ordinance to amend the City of Muncie comprehensive zoning ordinance from R4 to business variety zone premise located at 1300 block East Centennial. 1525, an ordinance to amend the City of Muncie comprehensive zoning ordinance from the R3 residence zone to the BV business variety zone, premises located at 3300 North Milton. Ordinance 1625, ordinance amending the ordinance 33, fixing the maximum salaries of each and every appointed officer, employee, deputy, assistant, department head, institutional head of the City of Muncie, Indiana, included herein for the year 2025. And then down to resolutions. Okay. Resolution 925, a resolution of the Common Council for the City of Muncie, Indiana, approving the collective bargaining agreement with the AFSCME people and the City of Muncie. Resolution 1025, well, we'll come back to that. Resolution 1125 is a resolution for the Common Council of the City of Muncie establishing an opioid fund advisory committee. This opioid fund advisory committee kind of makes me think that they're going to vote to push Ordinance 7-25 through. And then they're going to set up this advisory committee to give the people on their side say, well, look, this won't happen anymore because we're going to set this up and, we'll have this in play. I think this is a this for that type of a situation. Time will tell. I don't know. But this is interesting. I think they should be an advisory commission looking over this and keeping track. That makes sense. That should have already happened, but it is what it is. All right. Now, going back to Resolution 10-25. I think it's just their way of saying, like, look, we won't let this happen again, but it'll happen every year, especially if they do it this year. 10-25. This is the resolution of the Common Council, City of Muncie, opposing Indiana Senate Bill 1. Now, by the time the council meeting comes in tomorrow, I think this will be a non-issue because the Indiana General Assembly will be voting tomorrow morning. I think at 10 a.m., the General Assembly will be voting tomorrow at 10 a.m. on the newest amendment to Senate Bill 1, and this will be a non-entity. But you know how that is. There are 3 Republicans on the council, and they are going to stand with their Democrat counselors to oppose this that's been put forward by the Republican governor and Republican state legislature. This is such a weird deal. I can't wait to see how this all plays out. This whole property tax thing is wild. So we will see what happens. We then go into other business and adjournment. So, yay, rah, there we are. That is tomorrow's meetings, capping off with the Muncie City Council meeting at 7. We will do a live show afterward. I don't believe that this meeting is going to be too long. I think the longest part of this meeting is going to be the first ordinance. Everything will be pretty easy after that, so it should be pretty easy to get this wrapped up and get home to do a meeting. This, of course, means, keep in mind, tomorrow being Monday the 7th. First, the first meeting Monday of the month. We may not be on right at 9 p.m. right there around. It might be 9:30 or whatever. So just be aware. Kate says, and just to prep for the possible passage of SB1, the counties are jacking the assessments as high as humanly possible to keep that gravy train rolling. Absolutely. Yep. So, yeah, what a shit show. I think I am going to try and live stream tomorrow's vote from the Indiana General Assembly. So if you're interested in watching that I believe second here. I think it starts at 10:30 tomorrow. But I will tell you, 10:30 tomorrow, right here at the Political Spotlight. We will be live streaming it right here, and you'll be able to watch it. So tune in for that. That will be interesting. So, that will, let me see what all they're going to be talking about tomorrow. Senate Bill 1 is going to be right up first. They're only going to be talking about 3 bills. Senate Bill 1, Senate Bill 472, and Senate Bill 465. So there you go. It won't be it won't be as long as some in the past have been, but it should be pretty long, as they will have to discuss the newest amendment that was just handed out on Friday, and it's like 350 some pages. So we will be live streaming that. Okay, from there, then Tuesday is the Randolph County Council meeting. Again, I'm just telling you because I'm telling you in case there's anybody watching that cares. But then there is the Madison County Council meeting at 6 p.m. We will be live streaming that. Catherine will be on either after or on Wednesday to discuss the breakdown. So we will have her on. That then takes us up to Wednesday, where there's a Board of Works meeting. The Henry County Commissioners at 11. The Muncie City Ethics Committee meeting at 6. But the biggie for Wednesday is at 4:30. There's a Henry County Council meeting, and I am going to go and be in attendance at that meeting. I will be there. I want to see what Chad's doing. I want to hear what's discussed, and it should be a fun time. So we won't live stream that. We'll just go over it because they do a pretty good job of live streaming their meetings. You can catch that at the Henry County, Indiana government, but it will be live at 4:30 on Wednesday. So that's that. And then Thursday, we have of course, Anderson has their city council meeting at 6 p.m. It's their first one back in a full month. They did not meet last month, so that'll be interesting. But the biggie for Thursday is the 9 a.m. meeting of the Delaware County Redevelopment Commission meeting. It should be an interesting meeting to watch. I'm thinking of taking my setup and recording it because I know they live stream it, but it takes them so long to do it. Sometimes they get it the next day. Sometimes they get it that night. Sometimes they don't get it for 3 weeks. So I'll keep you guys posted on that. And we'll let you know. So there's a lot going on this week. There's a lot to talk about. We're also going to have Bree on at some point this week to go over her latest update. There's some very important information that she has to tell everybody that we talked about in the last meeting, and there's some changes that have been made, and so we're going to have her on to go over all of that. And also, we are on the big countdown. Let me double check before I tell you what it is. We're on the very, very, very big countdown here. Let me double check. 1, 2. So, Sproles has until April 11th, Friday, April 11th, to add me back to that page. He so far has not. But what a couple really keen-eyed observers noticed today was that, and I'll take you and I'll show you this. Let me show you what was observed, and then it was brought to my attention, and I was like, yeah, that does look funky. I don't understand. So here we have the official page of the sheriff's department. And as you can see, back on December 31st, 2024, on January 21st, 2025, I can comment along with other people. I can comment, you can comment, we can all comment. Okay. Let's go back up here. February 1st, 2025. We can comment. March 7th. We can comment. March 28th. Excuse me, 21st. March 21st. We can comment. The 21st. Then, on April 2nd, I can no longer comment. Neither can anyone else. On yesterday's date, April 5th, I can't comment. Neither can anyone else. So let me tell you what I think has happened here. I think everything was running along smoothly. The 21st of March, everything was normal. People could comment. And then the sheriff didn't have anything to post on this page for a couple days, because you can see he doesn't post every day, just every now and then. You know, he might make 2 or 3 posts a month over the whole 30 days. So the last post that was made was the 21st. Well, 6 days later, he and I are both notified of the court ruling. And he's like, oh. So what he does is he goes in and he shuts all the comments off on the other page, which is more than fine, as long as he doesn't delete half of us. If he deletes all of us from commenting, grand. If he allows all of us to comment, grand. But if he does 50-50 or 80-20 or everybody and blocks just me, that's a problem. So we notice, it's happened after the 28th, maybe when he got that bad news. 2nd, and then, obviously April 5th. So it'll be interesting because he now has only until April 11th to put me back on his official sheriff's page, the John Sproul's page. And if he does not, that won't be good. But we'll see what kind of nonsense he's working up here, because it just doesn't make sense. Why else, America's most vain sheriff would do this. But like Kate said, he thinks he's getting around it. So we'll be watching this. But I'm going to go in attendance to the Henry County Council meeting on Wednesday and see if we can't get some questions answered, find out who's actually in control. Is it the attorneys? Is it not the attorneys? And I have a little bit of information about all of that we have not talked about, which I will bring up, but I'm going to wait until Wednesday to do it. So, right now we're doing the exact same damn thing. And it's this week because he's finally back. Everything's good. I know he's back in the office. I'm going to send him a copy of my lawsuit, the order coming down, and I will explain to him what he's doing wrong and see if we can't get him to change the errors, go about, correcting the errors of his ways. So we'll see what we can do. But I'm not going to put up with it, and neither should anybody else. So stay tuned. We've got a lot coming up this week. There's more to talk about there. There's obviously more to talk about with Ed. There's more to talk about with the grants that Dustin's trying to pass through as, some nonsense in that list he gave me. We have a lot on our plate. We've got a lot to talk about. We will be talking about it all. We will be getting it all done. Please help stay involved. Help spread the word. Continue bringing me information. I got a lot of people that's given me information, and a lot of it's been very helpful. So keep that up. And the only other biggest thing that I can ask you to do is to share the show with everyone you know. Help spread the word and continue hitting that like button. Subscribe if you haven't, and we'll go from there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we will see you back here tomorrow. We've got a busy day, so we'll be live streaming the legislative update. We'll be live streaming the Muncie City Council meeting. We'll be going live, and there are other meetings in the day that you'll need to be tuning into. So you guys take care. God bless, and we'll see you tomorrow, God willing. That's it. Goodbye.